Where did my gallery?
Merlin, I'm sending you a message in the chat box. One minute to start. 1 minute to start.
I got my swag bag today. Oh.
Welcome, Toastmasters, to our District 18 Table Topics competition. I would now like to call this meeting to order. I am Kathleen Davis, your contest chair, as well as the Program Quality Director of District 18. person. I would now like to call this meeting to order. I am Kathleen Davis, your contest chair, as well as the program quality director of District 18. Sorry, we have a little bit of a delay, and hopefully we will be able to move on with that. I would like to introduce you to your contest master for this evening, Division E's Area 42 or 52 Director, Merlin Clark.
Thank you, Kathleen. Hello, everyone, and welcome to District 18 Table Topics Contest.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Merlin, anybody on the Zoom, and please do not have the YouTube link open also. You will get distracted by the delay. Thank you. Please make sure that the YouTube is closed on anybody who is speaking in the Zoom environment.
Okay, all right. Hang on 1 second. Okay, I was waiting for the Sergeant at Arms, so I think I will just proceed then with the procedures. I apologize for that. What I will do at this time, I will begin with an overview of the Table Topics speech contest procedures for the benefit of our guests and our newer members. In this contest, we will hear some of the best extemporaneous speakers for the Table Topics contest. The contestants will be located in a breakout room with the Sergeant at Arms. Contestants will re-enter the main room one at a time in their speaking order predetermined during the contestant briefing. In addition, no one is allowed to enter or leave the main room while a contestant is speaking. You are in for a treat today as you listen to the creativity of the speakers as they present their unprepared, unrehearsed presentations with a topic you will hear for the very first time. There will be 1 minute of silence after each contestant for the judges to mark their ballots. After the final contestant, I will ask for silence until the judges are finished submitting their ballots and we have received confirmation from the chief judge that it is okay to continue. The chief judge will collect the timing sheet and accompany the counters to a breakout room. Speakers, your video must capture facial expressions and gestures, and your voice must be clearly captured by the microphone. To eliminate any perception of bias, I will introduce each contestant in the same way: contestant number, name, the topic, the name. The speaking order has been chosen randomly. And I'll announce the order now. One moment. Let me pull up that order. Berlin Stokes will be contestant 1. Contestant 2 will be Andrea Young. Contestant 3 will be Angela. Let's get that. One second. Angela Herbstritt. Contestant 4 is Dana Mirswicki. Contestant 5, Oleo Samuels. Contestant 6 is Fatim Diabate. And contestant 7 is Nick Sweeney. All right. Now, allow me to repeat the order. Berlin, Andrea, Angela, Dana, Olea, Fatim, and Nick. The contest chair has confirmed that all contestants are eligible to compete. Now let's look at some other rules. All contestants must receive the same topic, which must be of a general nature. The topic has been selected by the contest chair. The topics must be of reasonable length, must not require a detailed knowledge, and must lead to an opinion or conclusion. Contestants will receive no advanced knowledge of the topic until the moment they are introduced by the contest master. Contestants must not use digital or other devices during the contest to gain an unfair advantage. Prior to announcing results, the chair will announce if time qualifications occurred, but not name the contestants involved. Protests based on eligibility, originality, and reference to another contestant's speech must be entered by the contestants or voting judges to either the chief judge or contest chair before the results are announced. Once the results have been announced, all decisions are final. Timers, will you please read the timing rules for the table topic speech contest?
Madam Contest Master, contestants, table topics contest speeches shall be from 1 minute to 2 minutes. A contestant will be disqualified if the speech is less than 1 minute or more than 2 minutes and 30 seconds. The green signal would be displayed at 1 minute and remain displayed for 30 seconds. The yellow signal will be displayed at 1 minute and 30 seconds and remain displayed for 30 seconds. The red signal will be displayed at 2 minutes and remain displayed until the speech is concluded. That explains the timer's responsibilities. Back to you, Madam Contest Master.
Thank you, our timer. Chief Judge, have all the judges, timers, and ballot counters been briefed?
Madam Contest Master, they have. And I do want to say one thing for the script, because we're doing this virtually. All of the judges and the ballot counters and the timers will come to the judges' chambers breakout room at the conclusion of the final contestant.
Thank you, Chief
So
Judge.
everyone has been briefed. Let the contest begin.
All right. Thank you, our Chief Judge. All audience members must mute their mics and turn off their video. The first speaker. Berlin Stokes.
Point of order, Madam Contest Master.
Yes.
Should not the Sergeant at Arms be escorting all the other contestants into their breakout room?
Hang on one second. That is correct. That is correct.
Yeah, except the speaker number 1, we all go to the contestant / ACA room.
The Zoom host can do that also. Can put everybody in the breakout room, except for this first contestant.
Contestants should see the breakout room already and have that ability to go in. So please, contestants, look at the bottom of your screen for the 4 square breakouts and go to the contestants room you were in before. If you are having issues, let me know and we will work that.
Okay, so
1 second, contest master.
Right, so we have to wait for that to happen.
I am not seeing the breakout room right now.
The team,
Team, yeah.
okay. You're gonna see a pop-up, but don't take it until you see the one that says contestants. Okay, so
Okay.
don't take the one that just popped up. You should see one now that says contestants.
Yes, thank
Please
you.
go into contestants.
have all the contestants been removed to the breakout room except contestant number 1?
Contest master, all the contestants and the 2 sergeant at arms.
Have been moved? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. The first contestant, contestant number 1, Berlin Stokes. Contestant number 1, pin the timer. And the judges pin the contestant. Contestant number 1, please spell your first name and check your audio and video.
Berlin.
Thank you, contestant number 1. Please pin the timer. Judges, please pin the contestant. Contestant number 1, are you ready?
Yes.
Question. Berlin Stokes, what do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago? What do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago? Berlin Stokes.
Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, 5 years ago, I had 2 younger children. One was 14. The other one was 19. I really wish I'd spent much more time goofing off. I took myself so seriously. I really needed to do everything perfectly, straight and narrow, right down the line. I don't know what I was afraid of. I just had that sense that I was just so important with all the things that I needed to do. Or more importantly, all the things that I needed to do were so important. I really wish I'd understood the whole concept of making sure that the people around me felt loved and appreciated. And in my husband's case, a little sought after. All of my loved ones are perfectly fine, although I hadn't understood well those concepts at the time. Today, as I'm looking upon my 50th year, I am so glad that I have discovered the fact that I don't need to take myself so seriously. I really wish 5 years ago that I gotten the memo. Madam Contest Master.
Madam Contest Master, you are on mute.
Thank you. We will now have 1 minute of silence.
Madam Contest Master, the minute is up.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. We'll now move on to contestant number 2, Andrea Young. Please spell your first name and check your audio and video.
Andrea, Andrea.
Contestant number 2, thank you, Andrea Young. What do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago? What do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago? Andrea Young.
Traveling. I think if I could turn back time and maybe even time travel back to 5 years ago, I would love to travel more. Maybe because now we learned that our travel has been restricted to due to what's happening in the world. So I think that was my main motivation. Now, what would I do differently if I were to travel more? I would try to come up with a list of things I wanted to see that were easy to get to. That's something that I know I'm never probably ever going to see again. And that's something that I would love to tell stories about to my children and for them to pass on to their children and so on. So I would like to make that quick list. Thank you, Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Traveling is for sure something that I have been comfortable with doing since I grew up as a Diplo brat as a child. And that's something I wish I did more of as an adult. and taking on that responsibility and exploring and going on different tours, eating different foods and understanding the culture of all these different places and locations around the world. That's something that now I look back and I think about, wow, I wish I had more time to travel and explore and visit other Toastmaster clubs around the world. And so I think going forward, if things do change and we get that opportunity again to get on a train, get on a flight, get in a hot air balloon, I would definitely say yes, and here is my passport.
Thank you, contestant number 2. We will now have a minute of silence. Thank you. Our minute is up. And now we will have contestant number 3. Would you please spell your first name and check your audio and video?
Angela, Angela.
Thank you, contestant number 3. Angela Herbst. What do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago? What do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago? Angela Herbst.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, guests, contest master. 5 years ago, I had to retire my running sneakers from marathoning. Reason being overtraining. 5 years ago, if I had known that was going to happen, I would have taken more rest days. I would have paced myself. I would have recognized that my body has limits. Don't get me wrong, I did some pretty crazy things, running 3 marathons within 90 days and traveling all over the country, doing weekend warrior. It was amazing. In hindsight, I thought my days were numbered and I tried to do as much as I could in the time that I had. Looking back on it now, maybe I didn't need to do a 17-mile run that Saturday. Maybe it would have been better if I rested. I would also have chosen maybe a few more exotic races if my race days were numbered. Nonetheless, each experience was unique in its own, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. Thank you, Madam Contest Master.
Thank you, contestant number 3, Angela Herbst. We will now have a minute of silence. Thank you, Madam Timer. We will now move on to contestant number 4, Dana Mirzwicki. Would you please spell your first name and check your audio and video? Contestant number 4.
Dana,
Please spell your first name.
D-A-N-A,
Thank you. Contestant number 4. Dana Mirzwicki. What do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago? What do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago? Dana Mirzwicki.
good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. I actually think about what I wish I spent more time doing often, because we often don't realize the significance of the moment until it's in the past. 5 years ago, several people in my life were still alive. And I'd hoped when I retired, I'd be able to spend more time with them. That's one big thing that I really wish I had done. Because I didn't have the opportunity to spend time with them that I'd like to, I think about the future more now. And I really try to treasure each day, because every day does matter. We're often so focused on our goals and moving forward in life, supporting our family, our children, and our own personal goals. But if we only have one life to live, how do you really want to live that life? And what do you want to see ahead in the future 5 years from now? That's what I think about. Those people that I miss, those opportunities that I've missed, the opportunities I now won't have, and treasuring today so that in 5 years, I can be happy with whatever way things went 5 years from now. Tabletop or contest master.
Thank you, contestant number 4. At this time, we will have a minute of silence. Our minute is up, and so we will move on to contestant number 5, Oleo Samuels. Would you please spell your first name to check your audio and video?
Yes, my first name is Oleo.
Thank you. Contestant number 5, Oleo Samuels. What do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago? What do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago? Oleo Samuels.
Ladies and gentlemen, contest chair. When I think about what do I wish I spent my time on 5 years ago, I have to think about preparation. I wish I spent more time believing and having faith and believing in myself. Because see, sometimes you have to believe in other people's belief in yourself until you believe in yourself. See, I didn't believe in myself that much. There were a lot of things in life that I wish that I could have just took the time to say, hey, let me go start a business. And hey, let me ask this girl out for a date. But I was scared, y'all. And because I was scared, I didn't believe that I was the person that deserved to have abundance in building businesses, the person that deserved the kind of love that I've seen and witnessed. And so for me, I said, you know what? I need to change this. Here's something that I learned. People that prepare, that preparation ensures the prosperity. But people that procrastinate, that procrastination, that actually ensures, get this, y'all. Procrastination ensures the poverty. See, I wasn't thinking with abundance. And when I realized that, see, Aristotle, he said this thing, I won't have a problem if you aim high and miss. I'll have a problem if you aim low and hit. I hit low and I began to get comfortable. And I wanted to shake my soul up and say, this is not it for me. I realized that my purpose wasn't to empower other people to empower themselves. I met new people, I networked, I came to this Toastmasters organization. And now, oh yes, now I learned that all you can do is all you can do and all you can do is enough, just as long as that is all you can do. So now I spend my time preparing more. See, the people that fail to plan are preparing to fail. So now I actually prepare. I have a vision. And now I coalesce my vision with the mindset of different people, and I stay in a growth environment, and I'm preparing now, and I network now. And here's what I realized about a growth environment that I hope that you have. A growth environment is when you're around people that are doing better than you to help you push you further. So now I'll prepare more, and I hope that you'll spend more time preparing more. Toastmasters.
Thank you, contestant number 5, Olea Samuels. We will now have a minute of silence. Thank you, Madam Timer. We will now move on to contestant number 6, Fatim Diabate. Fatim Diabate, please spell your first name to check your audio and video.
Fatim.
Please spell your first name.
Fatime. Fatim.
Thank you. Contestant number 6, Fatim Diabate. What do you think? Well, no, I'm sorry. What do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago? What do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago? Fatim Diabate.
Thank you, Madam Contest Master. 5 years ago, I wish I had more time to spend with my grandmother. I was actually named after my grandmother. She was such a beautiful lady, brave, honest, hard worker. She actually raised me, and I stayed for her at a very young age of 4 months old. She told me all the values that I learned today and that made me who I am today. But most important of all, she told me to always give back to the people around me, to the community, to give back to the entire world, and to play my part in this beautiful world. Why do I wish I had spent more time with her? Because I made the decision to move to the United States. And after I left, she got sick and ended up being blind. And I wasn't there for her like I wish I were. I couldn't spend as much time as I wanted to take care of her and give her the love that she showed me and help her, feed her, help her take her bath, and just tell her stories to make her life and get to enjoy as much time as I could with her. So if I wish to go back 5 years ago, that's what I would like to do. Go back in time, hold her hand, tell her I love her, tell her how much I appreciate everything that she did for me, tell her that I value what she added to my life, and tell her that she is a great example for me and she would inspire me my entire life. Thank you. Back to you, Contest Master.
Thank you, contestant number 6 for Team Diabate. We will now have a minute of silence. Thank you, Madam Timer. We will now move on to contestant number 7, Nick Sweeney. Please spell your first name to check for audio and video.
N-I-K.
Thank you, contestant number 7, Nikia Sweeney. What do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago? What do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago? Nikia Sweeney.
What do I wish I spent more time doing 5 years ago? Wow, I would have to say that I wish I spent more time practicing the pause. Just that right there, the pause. How often would I find myself with racing thoughts? I wake up thinking about what my day is going to be like. At lunchtime, I'm looking at the clock so I can get back to work. And at night, my last thought is the first thing that I have to do in the morning. So I wish that 5 years ago, I put in place a system of self-care that included the pause, which in my opinion is simply defined as this opportunity to stop and move out the way everything from the to-do list, the what I don't want to do list, and just pause in a quiet place, distraction-free, with the ability to breathe, meditate, and relax. The pause. That's what I would have loved to have spent quite a bit of time embracing 5 years ago.
Thank you, contestant number 7, Nick Sweeney. Now, Nick Sweeney is our last contestant. So at this time, I will ask everyone to remain silent until all the judges, ballot counters, and timers return to their breakout room. Following that, Then I will start another fun session of this contest.
Functionaries, if you're having trouble moving, please chat me directly. Have all the judges, ballot counters, and counters and timers been moved to the breakout room? Contest chat master, ballot counter 2, and timer number 1. I believe both need to move still.
Thank you.
Ballot counter 2, you should see a pop-up to go to the judge's judge's room. Contest master, you may continue.
Thank you to our Zoom master here. Now, this is a fun time where we get to learn a little about our contestant. So, and I will do it in the same order as they have spoken. Our first contestant, Berlin Stokes. What is the name of your club and how long have you been a Toastmaster?
I'm actually a member of 2 clubs. My first club is DCA Toastmasters. That's the DuPont Experimental Station Employees Activities Association Toastmasters Club, all in one breath. My second club is PPAT, which is the Polished Professionals Advanced Toastmasters Club. Once again, all in one breath, but not quite as long. I've been a Toastmaster since, I think we're going on 17 or 18 years now.
Wow, thank you, Toastmaster Berlin Stokes. So I have another question for you. What are some of your notable accomplishments? What are some of your notable accomplishments?
Notable accomplishments. Well, besides raising those 2 kids that I mentioned, that was a huge accomplishment for me, and I've survived to tell the tale so far.
Okay.
Basically, moving from one position to another, basically in my current role, which I enjoy greatly, transitioning from being a laboratory chemist to being a environmental health and safety specialist. That was a big transition for me, and due in no small part to my Toastmasters experience gained within my DCS Toastmasters Club.
Wonderful. See, Toastmasters does a lot for us. Thank you. So what are some of your hobbies?
My hobbies. So as I mentioned during my presentation, I don't take myself as seriously anymore. So my hobbies were so like, reading and painting and drawing and writing. And now it's anime, because anime is a wonderful thing. So for those of you who do not know what anime is, it is Japanese animation. My husband and I have been watching it for quite a while. We watch cartoons and they're awesome. I also spend time watching probably far too many East Asian dramas, because K-dramas, C-dramas, and T-dramas are a way to go. And learning new recipes. It's been kind of fun learning how to cook things from other parts of the world. That's one of the things that I started working on during COVID. I've learned to make curry, Indian curry, probably not very well, but it is what it is. And I also practice Tang Soo Do. I'm the world's worst Tang Soo Do student, but Tang Soo Do is a martial art. For those of you who are not familiar with it, it's a cousin of Taekwondo.
Oh, thank you so much, Toastmaster Berlin Stokes. You are a well-rounded individual. I'm telling you, thank you so much. Now, we're going to move on to contestant number 2, Andrea Young. So, Andrea, what is the name of your Toastmasters Club and how long have you been a Toastmaster?
The club I belong to is called Mediators, but I've been in multiple clubs over the last 20 years on and off. My favorite one, I think, was one that I helped co-found over at the University of Maryland.
Okay, so what are some of your notable accomplishments?
Depends on who's taking the notes. So I think for me, if I were to keep track and try to raise the bar and list my accomplishments, I think I'm most proud of becoming a better storyteller. I participate in support and volunteer for storytelling festivals, and that's something I really want to continue to do, but and have enjoyed doing it so far.
Thank you. So do you have any hobbies or special interests? If so, what are they?
So right now, I think if you were to find me at the library, and maybe I'll check out those anime books, but I find myself looking at books for my child. One of my goals was to read 2,000 books to him before he started kindergarten. So I think you'll find me in the children's section, but I also find myself looking at books related to travel, because that's something I have been doing most of my life and I'd like to continue to do over time. And so in terms of hobbies, a lot of it's just exploring, maybe taking virtual online tours that's happening around the world, even taking cooking classes from chefs like in Rome. It would be 2:45 a.m. For the chef, and 6 o'clock our time, and learning how to make gnocchi and tiramisu. So those would be some fun hobbies that I hope to continue to do.
Thank you. See, Berlin was into the Indian curry. Now you're into the gnocchi and the tiramisu. That's the Italian thing. So, and you like to travel. So she's, it's interesting when you prepare these dishes. It's like you're going to that part of the world, the dishes take you there, right? Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Contestant number 3, Angela. So what is the name of your Toastmasters Club and how long have you been a Toastmaster?
I am with the MAC Standing Ovations Toastmasters Club. And at last check, I think it was a little over 3 years, maybe getting close to 4 years now as a Toastmaster.
Fantastic. So what are some of your notable accomplishments?
Well, I always have to point out that I got, my children out the door successfully. They're all still finding their way, but this next phase of their lives is almost as rewarding as the first 18 years of their lives. So I very much am enjoying that. I have a child who is living in France right now, and we literally got home yesterday morning at 2 a.m. from visiting them there. So travel is really big for me. I'm loving seeing what they're doing and how they're just experiencing life. I have children who are getting married, and in January became a grandparent. So a lot of new ventures and new hobbies being somewhat dictated, but I am loving it. My children will tell you that some of my most notable accomplishments would be my marathon experiences. I am a 14-time marathon finisher. I hung up my sneakers about 5 years ago due to health concerns. But really was a fantastic journey. Traveled to 2 continents, completed marathons in 12 states, member of the 50 State Marathon Club. So maybe someday if I heal up a little bit, I'll be back on the road with my sneakers. I love to experience where I'm running, spend some time there and enjoy that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dana. So what is the name of your Toastmasters club and how long have you been a Toastmaster?
Well, my home club is the Noontimer Toastmasters Club, and I joined them in 2004. I've been a member of other clubs over the years and mentored other clubs. So it's been a long time.
Okay, thank you. So what are some of your notable accomplishments?
Well, with Toastmasters, I earned my DTM in the legacy system, and I'm working on earning a good solid DTM in the new system. Personally, I would love to have joined. I would love to have done the marathon. Many years ago, I wrote actually in the 90s when I was like in my early 20s, I made a bucket list. Before I knew it was actually called a bucket list, I titled it The Things I Want to Do Before I Die. And I have, in those years, taken that running a marathon off that list. I decided I didn't want to have to deal with the things that those runners deal with. It's a grueling. I was wondering too, if maybe there's a 50 state 5K club, I could do that.
Interesting, very ambitious, and you probably will do it. Thank you, Dana. Contestant number 5, Oleo. So, Oleo, what is the name of your Toastmasters club and how long have you been a Toastmaster?
It's Morgan State University Toastmasters Club. I've been a member going on 3 years now.
Fantastic. So, Oleo, what are some of your accomplishments?
Accomplishments in life in general, or?
In general.
In general. I feel like now some of my biggest accomplishments are knowing who I am, whose I am, what I stand for, what I won't stand for, and just how I just like to choose to live my life. I think that's probably my biggest accomplishments.
Love it, love it. Love that self-awareness piece right there. What are some hobbies? Do you have some hobbies you want to share with us?
Oh, I got hobbies. Now, if you're talking hobbies, I show you the hobbies right here. Background. Yeah, I like to grow. I like to plants. Got a garden. I like growing my own food and riding bikes, reading books. Some of my more fun hobbies.
Fantastic, well-rounded. All right, thank you, Oleo.
Thank you.
Fatim, what is the name of your Toastmasters club and how long have you been a Toastmaster?
My club is Power Masters, and I joined the club 5 months ago.
So you've been a Toastmasters
for 5
months, and you are at a speech contest.
I know.
That is amazing. I can't wait to see what you bring us next year. I really can't wait for next year to see what you're going to do.
Thank you. I'm excited.
I'm excited for you. I can't wait. I can hardly wait. What are some of your greatest accomplishments?
My biggest accomplishment in life is actually making it since I moved to the United States. And I cannot be proud enough of myself for going from packing chips in a manufacturing plant to being a federal employee. One of a great accomplishment is actually giving back to my community, because I strongly believe that we cannot be happy by ourselves. So in my spare time, I kind of like to help in food pantries, and I've planted trees before. And I also like to help pack and distribute food to the homeless. And I've done that back in Atlanta, in Georgia. And one more thing, a great accomplishment happened a couple of weeks ago, or maybe 10 days ago. I gave my first speech at my club. It was my icebreaker speech, and it was awesome. I was stressed, but I enjoyed it, and I got great feedback.
Fantastic. So you participate in contests before you gave your icebreaker speech.
Looks like it.
Wow. The table topics. Okay. So what are some hobbies? Do you have, I know you talk about planting trees, that's your accomplishment. So you're helping us with the oxygen in the air. All right. But do you have any hobbies?
I actually do. So most of my hobbies now I share with my kids, because I realize you don't have any more life once you have kids. So we like to go outdoors, picnics, movies. And the last movie that we watched was the Batman movie. It was like 3 hours, way too long for me. But when I need my quiet time, I like to read. And don't laugh at me. The book that I discovered at the library is Mommy Burnout. Hopefully it helps me, get some peace and calm and quiet time by myself.
Thank you so much, Fatim. You're pretty interesting. Very good. That's the book, Mommy Burnout. Okay. Yeah, we all suffer from burnout, Thank you. Last but not least, Nick Sweeney. What is the name of your Toastmasters Club, and how long have you been a Toastmaster?
Well, I'm with Club CMS, and I joined that club. It will be 1 year in June. So where am I? Closer to maybe 9 months. Yes.
Wow. Wow. Now, what are some of your greatest accomplishments?
Well, you know what? I would have to say, I'm on this health journey. I'm on a mission to help as many women as I can, especially as it relates to chronic illness prevention and management. So I'm super excited, because even in the midst of the pandemic, that a big accomplishment is becoming recognized by the CDC for diabetes prevention. And this January, with high excitement, being the only DPP provider that has made this program accessible to the deaf and hard of hearing community in the entire country. So I'm over the top excited to be working with these women by providing a much needed program in order for them to reset their health. So it makes me feel amazing.
What you're saying sounds very familiar to me. I think I attended a networking event, and were you there with Beth Snyder? Were you there at the
Greater Baltimore, the Greater Baltimore
Chamber of Commerce?
Chamber of Commerce, yes.
Yeah, and you spoke, right? We were at the Garden Hilton Hotel. Because when you said the only, organization for this cause, I said, I've heard someone say that before. Okay, I know exactly.
That's us.
No, I was at that networking event. Fantastic. So,
awesome.
What are your hobbies?
Oh, it's nothing like a chillax. I became an empty nester. I'm a girl mom. 2 girls out the door, one all the way in upstate New York, and a granddaugh that I just love to pieces. So hubby and I are just really enjoying our time together. And then that pause time I kind of talked about, binge watching some of my favorite shows like Bob and Abishola, The Jeffersons. I am also heavy into learning a lot about, I think Berlin had mentioned it. So I've fallen in love with Rui's Royal Love Palace, which is set in ancient China. I'm amazed by the empresses and the dynasties. So some of these dramas are just awesome. So that's what I do for fun.
Wow. I mean, I am learning so much, and I'm sure all the others on this call and the viewers are learning so much about our contestants. So Nick is our final contestant, and we really appreciate getting to know more about all of you. And congratulations to all of you at this time. So let's see where we are on this agenda for today. Let's see. At this time, I'd like.
Thank you, Contest Master. I'll take it back over from here.
Fantastic. Okay, great. Thank you, Kathleen.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for being a part of our Table Topics competition this evening. I would like to remind everyone that tomorrow night is our evaluation speech contest, followed by Thursday night's international speech contest. The results will be read at our district conference on Saturday, later in the afternoon. Those who are not able to make it, we will be posting the results. So if you're not able to be there, don't worry, we won't forget about you. Thank you to all of our volunteers, and most importantly, our judges in private, right? Because they are top secret and in witness protection throughout the entire conference. And we appreciate each and every one of you. Without you, without our contestants, and without the entire team, this would not be possible. With that, I would like to conclude our Table Topics contest for this evening. Thank you so much for being here. Have a good night.